Down by 14 at the half, Buffalo couldn't climb back. Atlanta's defense got a lot of pressure on Buffalo's offense. Josh Allen had a hard time finding receivers. Buffalo's defense couldn't stop running back Bijan Robinson. He went off for 238 scrimmage yards. Welcome into Bills Postgame Live. He's Wall of Famer Steve Tasker. I'm your host, Maddy Glab. The Bills lose this one to Atlanta 24-14. Why was it so tough for Buffalo tonight?
Well, offensively, it was tough because Josh didn't have too much help. He was under pressure a lot tonight. And let's not forget, Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, was with the Jets for the last 3 or 4, 5 years with Robert Saleh, and he was the interim head coach. He's seen Josh Allen could prepare his club for Josh's abilities probably better than most, and he's got different personnel than he had in New York, and they really used him to perfection. They kept Josh hemmed in the pocket, sacked him more than we've seen Josh sacked in any game in 3 or 4 years. They were all over him. He had no place to go with the football, and that was the story offensively for the Bills. Defensively, the Bills could not stop Bijan Robinson. They were undermanned because of the injuries, and it showed. It really showed. Penalties were another problem tonight. The Bills absolutely got outplayed by the Falcons in every facet of the game, except perhaps special teams, which with the blocked field goal was probably in the Bills' favor. Other than that, it was a push. But the Falcons came in, played extremely well, and the Bills had no answers for them. The Bills scored 14 points in this game, and that's not going to win any NFL game.
It was 21-7 at the half. Buffalo just couldn't find a way to get back in it. Too many drives stalled, and defensively, they just couldn't stop Atlanta through the air and on the ground. Bills quarterback Josh Allen completing 58% of his passes for 180 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Allen is on the podium right now. Let's hear what he had to say.
It takes everyone. Little details matter. It wasn't good enough tonight, and we gotta find ways. We had some God-given opportunities. The play at the end of the half, Taylor Rapp busting his butt to make a play there. The field goal block. We had our opportunities to, take advantage of, and we didn't.
Jack, felt like you were under unusual amounts of pressure. That was what was going on there.
Yeah, they had a good plan. Looks like they, came off a bye week and got the game plan us quite a bit. And again, I got to be better and seeing the things that they're trying to do to us and make adjustments accordingly.
Josh, after the blocked field goal, you got the ball down. It was a 3rd and 2, and they called that sort of reverse to Shakir. Last week, Sean said things got too cute. Does that seem like that kind of a too cute play?
Listen, if it works, it's a great call. If it doesn't, it's not. If we run the ball there just downhill, it doesn't work. It's not a good call, right? Something that doesn't work is not going to be a good call. So we roll with it.
Josh, what coverage did the Falcons in, and how well did they do a good job of disguising them?
Yeah, played some man. Shown quarters and played some man to it. We gotta be better.
The loss of Palmer, how did that impact you guys moving forward there?
Not great. Being down Dalton, obviously down Curtis. Guys got to step up in that position, and thought there were some plays made tonight, and but we gotta. Again, I gotta be better for this team.
How difficult did they make it for you to take some shots downfield? It seemed like they was giving you those opportunities, but how tough was it for you to, get the ball downfield?
When we have opportunities, we got to convert them. Coming out in the first play, thought we had a good play there. Obviously, it worked. Didn't win.
I'm sure you like to win on the bye on a win, but does the bye come at a good time? Back-to-back losses and some things that have knocked down the Bills.
It's gonna eat at me the next 2 weeks. A lot of stuff to clean up. We'll put our focus to our next opponent and go from there.
Did you hurt your hand in the first half?
No.
Are you playing completely healthy right now?
Yeah.
Josh, what's to learn from this defeat? I know it's just fresh off, but what's to learn from this?
We got to take advantage of our opportunities. The ones I alluded to earlier. Some things that absolutely completely went our way, and it sucks when you feel like 2/3 of your teams, the offense and the defense, are doing their job, and you're the team not to pull your weight, it sucks. So again, gotta get in the film room and learn from our mistakes and move on.
You said the other day that through the first 4 wins, you didn't feel like you guys were even at your best at that point. Now with these last 2, is there a little, not panic, but is there a little bit of eye-opening right now to what's going on?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think it's things that we know what to improve on. Got to put in the work and we got to do it.
What happened on that 4th and 3 play when you tried to flick it? You couldn't get your emotion in on that play?
Yeah, I mean, I felt backside pressure. Trying to get the ball out, sometimes when you open it up when you're rolling to your left, that causes big hits, and just tried to get it to our playmaker.
Sean last week said that he felt like the offense, well, he said too cute at times. Joe kind of disputed that a little bit this week, but when you look at that 3rd and 1 call to Elijah, it doesn't work. Where do you land on the idea of the offense looking too cute at times right now?
Again, you run duo or throw a quick pass and you don't get it, that's a bad call too. We got to execute whatever Joe calls, and there's opportunities to be made and to be had, and we're not taking advantage of them as the players on the field.
Well, y'all got into some great rhythm coming out of halftime. James Cook got going, and then you was utilizing Ray Davis. There was some play action. Then y'all kind of like totally go away from that. What goes into the hot and cold with the offense?
I mean, the other guys don't get paid too. They're game planning just as hard as we are, and flat out they just play better than us tonight.
Josh, I'm sorry you got us some big sin right at the start, but after cleaning up turnovers so much last year to have a string of them now the last few weeks, is there anything defenses are doing differently to you?
No, I mean, the one before half, again, ball gets deflected out of my hand. The one at the end there, you're in dire situations, ball gets deflected. So, honestly, if I could take them back, I'd take them back. But, yeah, I gotta be better.
Josh, you've been sacked, I think, 11 times this year. I think it was only 14 all of last year. You're almost at that total. What's happening that is allowing the pressure to get to you?
I got to be better. Protections, IDs, movement in the pocket. It's got to be better.
There's also a source of reasoning that your receivers are not getting open quick enough. I mean, you're forced to look, and you're getting the pressure. Is that part of the problem?
I mean, you can beat man to man with a perfectly thrown ball and a well thrown ball, and we got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Josh, obviously frustration the last 2 weeks, but is there anything that you can take from an optimistic standpoint to maybe see it turn around soon?
I think we were 3-2 last year, sitting at 4-2 going into a bye week. At any point you can have a winning season. Almost halfway through the year. I know we're not quite halfway, but I think you'll take those odds. Thank you guys.
Going into this game, Buffalo's offensive line was facing the lowest pressure rate in the league, 22%. Allen felt the heat tonight against Atlanta. Allen said, I have to do a better job of seeing the things that they're trying to do. What were Allen and the offensive line not seeing?
Well, one of the things that Atlanta did is they packed in the box. They scared the Buffalo Bills off the run game. They did run it some in the second half. In fact, James Cook was running into 8 and 9-man boxes at times, so they were running it into a heavy front. They were still doing some good things in the running game, but all it takes is a couple of tackles for no gain, and you're up against it. So, when they're going to throw that many guys in the box, it really takes a superlative effort just to get 6 yards. So they forced Buffalo to drop back and throw the football, and they did a nice job of sending pressure to Josh, keeping him in the pocket, keeping the pocket intact, and collapsing it on him, not giving him avenues to run. And when he did try and squeak through, they came off their blocks and tackled him. It was a really good job by the Atlanta front tonight. They have good pass rush. They have a young, very talented crew. You knew they were going to be up against it, but they also sent help with those young, talented guys, and they got quick pressure fast, and then that was the difference in the game.
You mentioned while we were watching the game, they're going one-on-one with Buffalo's offensive line.
Yeah,
they're sending 5 at Josh Allen, and Buffalo's offensive line isn't winning enough of those matchups. And when you send 5,
not for long enough.
You think there's going to be somebody open.
That's right.
in the second level, but Josh was having a tough time connecting with his receivers even when they were sending an extra person.
And I think they were one of the game plans today we saw early on where the Bills, unlike they'd done in the first month of the season, were trying to push the ball down the field a little bit. They were trying to get some bigger chunks of yard. You saw that with the big throw over the top to Moore, or to Paul, was it Elijah Moore?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought they came in with a much more open game plan, thinking they could push the ball down the field. So it was taking it a little longer to develop in the back end of the defense, and Josh didn't have that kind of time.
Yeah, you saw it early with that big play to Josh Palmer, as you were alluding to, and then it seemed like Atlanta's defense settled in, and it became a lot tougher for Buffalo's offense. One of our defensive players, Taron Johnson, in the locker room right now. Let's send it over to him.
Taron, especially in the first half, it seemed like Drake was really able to get loose and have a night. What do you think went into that?
I mean, quarterback was finding him. He was making some great plays, and a big body guy making good plays.
They had over 300 yards of offense in the first half, but not a lot. In the second half, I think 40-something until the last drive. What adjustments did you guys make?
I feel like we just settled in. You know what I'm saying? Our first, second down defense, I felt was like a little bit better, and our third down, we was getting off the field.
On their last drive, Bijan was wide open on that wheel route. What happened there for you guys?
I'm not sure. I was on the other side of the field, so I can't really speak on that. I'll know tomorrow, though.
You guys had a couple of critical stops that got nullified by penalties. Once again, how frustrating is that for this team?
That's pretty frustrating because I feel like we're in great positions. I mean, they call some ticky-tack calls that I felt like shouldn't have been called, but hey, it's the name of the game.
How do you get this thing fixed? I know you obviously a little better in the second half. What do you feel like needs to be done over this bye week?
Find out what we did wrong, and we just got to be more consistent. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we have the guys in this room. I mean, guys are banged up right now, but guys stepped up today. You know what I'm saying? Especially in that second half. So just being more consistent, that's the key.
How did you feel about the tackling? I know we've been talking about that a little bit. How did you feel about that first half, second half?
Yeah, I mean, the first half wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't good enough. We got to do better. And I feel like in the second half we did do better, but we got to be more consistent.
Ken, what do you have to do? Do you have to do anything scheme-wise to prevent a lot of this stuff is happening in zone? Guys are finding soft spots. Do you need to adjust scheme at all?
Here and there. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we had opportunities to win this game, and we didn't make those plays. Whatever that issue was, that's what it was. But at the end of the day, I feel like we had opportunities to win the game.
Thanks.
Thank you.
In the first half, Buffalo's defense allowed 21 points to Atlanta. Sean McDermott at halftime said, "We have to do a better job of staying in our gaps and making this team one-dimensional." In the second half, Buffalo's defense just allows 3 points to Atlanta, so they were able to fix some things. What was the difference you saw from the first to the second half?
Well, certainly their defensive line held the line of scrimmage a little better, and they fit the run game a little better. Atlanta had 32 rushes in this game for 6.6 yards per rush. It was a bad outing in that first half. The Bills had no answers for it. In the second half, both Ed Oliver and Dion Walker played much better at the defensive tackle position. They ended up on the far side, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and made some tackles out on the edge, out towards the tackle. They got some pressure on Penix. But I'll say this, the thing that really hamstrung their ability to play well defensively was the penalties. You start out from the opening play from scrimmage, and you get a fumble and a fumble recovery, and it's negated by somebody lining off sides. You got two of your best defensive players, Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau, both negating great plays by your defense because they were lined up off sides. That's a crusher. And those are the kind of things that get you beat.
You mentioned Dion Walker. Walker, as a rookie, is growing. Every week you see something new that the rookie's doing. He was pushing the pile against Michael Penix Jr. tonight. Why was he the bright spot in tonight's game?
Well, he made some tackles right at the line of scrimmage. The run game disappeared when he came in, and they had some drives where they kept getting in third and long, because on first and second down, Dion Walker and Ed Oliver as well were getting into the backfield and not giving up the line of scrimmage. Even on this one, on a 2nd and 1, they held the line and got the tackle for a loss, so it turns into a 3rd and 2. So that was a big difference in this game. Dion Walker and Ed Oliver being better in the run game in the second half. You still had running backs finding the crease and running through, just slashing through the line of scrimmage. They just weren't getting much help. There was too many times when somebody was missing in the run front, and there was a gap there. You had guys running past tackles again in the run fits. So it was up and down. And certainly Deon Walker flashed tonight and had a much better second half. But it's still a little bit of a roller coaster with a young defensive tackle. He disappeared for that first half. You'd like to see him show up, particularly in a game where Daquan Jones didn't get to play because he got injured in the pregame, and then you're stuck with the roster you've got.
Yeah.
So they had to play some extra snaps, and it took Deon Walker a long time to settle into that.
That was tough. Just 3 defensive tackles dressed for this game. Ed Oliver, Deon Walker, and Jordan Phillips. So definitely shorthanded in the interior defensive line. Like you said, Walker not as good as a first half compared to the second half. Taron Johnson saying the defense as a whole needs to be more consistent. First half was not up to par. Second half, they did a better job of stopping the run and containing Atlanta's offense. The other Dion Dawkins, is in the locker room right now.
Dion, this is an offense that routinely scores about 30 a game. When you get a chance 3 times in the second half and can't get points on the board, how frustrating is that for you guys?
I mean, it's frustrating, we're not trying not to score. We're not trying not to do things wrong. It's football and it's a game. There's winners and losers, and I tip my hat to those guys. They played harder and they won.
They're a really heavy blitzing team. Did you get that from them tonight?
All day.
And how did you guys handle that?
We lost, so we could have handled it better. And I'm a competitor, and I speak facts. They beat us, right? And the good thing is that it's bye week. We don't have to win them all. I know it sounds cliche, but we really don't have to win them all. But I like that we have the opportunity to get better, and it's not the end.
You coming off the field, I heard you say a couple of times, hey, it's a long season.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Yeah, how much do you feel like as a leader on this team, you got to make sure that the younger guys in particular understand that?
Yeah, the older guys too, man. Football weighs on you hard, especially when you're a good team and you want to win them all. So, yeah, just keeping the guys, keeping the guys into the mindset of don't overly beat yourself up. Stay who you are. Go back, watch the film. We got bye week. Rewatch the film, learn from it, and come back ready. We don't have to win them all, and we're blessed that we can say that right now. Not that it's still early in the season, but we still haven't played our best ball yet. We got guys that went down. We got guys that stepped up, and we'll keep pushing forward.
Last year you had 2 straight losses right around the same time, kind of similar. It was 4 and 5 weeks, 4 and 5 this year.
Right. I think didn't we go on a run at the end?
Yeah, right. So what can you draw from that?
It's just that we're capable of doing whatever we want to do, and we just got to just keep putting our best foot forward. Take care of the guys. Let's recover. Let's get back healthy and see where we're at in a week and a half after the bye week.
What do you feel like needs to be done to kind of get the offense in a consistent rhythm?
I wish I had an answer, because I would have said it today.
Yeah.
But no one knows. We just got to just keep playing hard and keep being us. Protect our guy, play, catch, pass, block, do what we do well, and we'll be A-okay. It sucks to lose, but once again, it's not the end. It's not the end, even though it might feel like it. No, yeah, it's okay.
Impact Josh, just how did that affect the rest of the offense of them getting home to him?
Yeah, I hate when guys touch Josh. It's just what it is. We have to keep doing a good job and keep doing a better job of protecting him, and just understand that that's our guy. We don't want nobody to touch him. But that's what defense does, and I think that they were ranked 1 coming in, so they're a good team. They're good in defense, and we knew. So, good luck to the rest of their season.
Thanks, Dion.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah, you're welcome.
Dion Dawkins, they're saying we don't have to win every game. The Bills are now 4-2 on the season. Now, we did some research going back to 2017, and the Bills have faced back-to-back losses in every single season. What hasn't happened after those back-to-back losses is another loss. The last time the Bills had 3 straight losses was in 2017. So it's something that this coaching staff and these players, after facing those 2 straight losses, they've been able to regroup and come back as a better football team. Why do you believe that's the case this season too.
They have had a 2-game losing streak every year of Sean McDermott, well, all the way back to, I've gone back to 2019, although 2019 it was weeks 16 and 17.
Right.
And 2018, when Josh Allen was a rookie, they lost more than they won. They were 6 and 10, so there was a multitude of those.
Yeah, 2018, that's right.
Yeah, I think they reset very well. It's surprising these last 2 games, and at this point, it's hard to imagine a more painful 4 and 2 6-game stretch. It's hard to imagine a more brutal way to go 4 and 2, but because of these last 2 games, because now you feel like you're still in that quandary, and I think that's going to be the hard part about it. It's going to be a long bye week for the Bills and their fans. So I don't know if that answers your question, but this is a team that will reset. It does. Yeah, you really learn some tough lessons when you string some losses together.
Right.
And this is a team that's going to have to do some soul searching. They just weren't good enough tonight. I mean, they played well, and they had some moments when momentum could have changed and things could have gone much differently than it did. The opening fumble that got called back, but they also had some moments where they got lucky. The touchdown just before half, where London goes out of bounds before he scores, that saved him. Gave him a chance. They came out in the second half, put together a very nice drive to open the second half, and it looked like, okay, now we're going to do some things. Then they got the ball back from Atlanta as well. Then they blocked a field goal. I mean, they had some stuff going for them. They could not capitalize. Atlanta was just too good for them tonight, and that's pretty disconcerting for fans knowing how talented this team is. They are good enough to win the whole shooting match when they're healthy. They're not even close to being healthy right now, and they don't look close enough to be a championship or a division winner right now as well because of their health.
Yeah, they had several players out in this game. Matt Milano, TJ Sanders, Dalton Kincaid, Curtis Samuel, Daquan Jones was ruled out in pregame warmups due to that calf injury. You had Joshua Palmer go out with an ankle injury. Terrell Bernard also went out with an ankle injury. You also have 2 defensive linemen who are still suspended.
Mike Hoyt, Ogunjobi. You've got Max Hairston, who's a first-round draft pick that was supposed to be a contributor this year, who's not helping you. Dorian Strong, who was starting to platoon in to be cornerback number 2, aside from Benford. He's not in the lineup as well. So, yeah, it's a long list, and it's starting to pile up, and this team is starting to show the lack of top-notch guys in their lineup. It's starting to show.
Yeah, I mean, with that laundry list of injuries of players who play meaningful snaps, you're getting to the depth on your roster, and it's tough when you're going up against an Atlanta Falcons team that has one of the best running backs in the league, and Bijan Robinson, and they have Drake and London.
They've also got a lot of top 10 draft picks on their lineup contributing.
Yes,
so they've got a lot of elite athletic guys that are hard to match up with physically.
And
we talked about
too.
that on the Daily Show all this week about, you look at the Atlanta Falcons roster, and they've got some dudes. Bijan Robinson is just one of them. Kyle Pitts is another one. Drake London is another one. They've got some guys that are very gifted athletes, and you got to match up with them physically. They haven't put it together like they did tonight. They haven't put it together like that very often, but when they do, they can beat a team like Buffalo.
2018, the last time Buffalo's faced more than 2 straight losses, something this coaching staff and this team do not do often. They've done a great job in seasons past of figuring out what those mistakes are and then correcting it over time. You have a bye week to reset and to figure out, hey, can we get healthier in these position groups and move forward with a Week 8 game against the Carolina Panthers. Bills head coach Sean McDermott on the podium right now.
Okay, not the result we were looking for. I thought the guys played hard, in particular in the second half, fought through some injuries, guys stepping up. Injuries are not an excuse. There's no such thing as moral victories. But I did think that they battled down to the end right there, which I appreciate. Not good enough in the first half. Allowing them to be a 2-dimensional offense when they hit us on some long runs, and the receiver comes open and And so I thought we did a good job making adjustments at halftime on the defensive side and limiting them in the second half and giving our offense some opportunities. Just not enough overall as a team. Special teams blocking the kick I thought was big for us. Obviously, I thought we had some momentum coming out of that. And then we had the third and short situation there with the ball on the ground. We got to be better there. So overall, opportunities just not good enough in getting the result that we want. We'll work hard at it. We got to figure it out. It's not going to be easy, but we got to figure it out, work our tails off to get it done.
Sean, obviously the defense struggled in the first half, much better second half, but your offense, that's the surprise. Everyone just expects your offense to score, and it just was not happening. Can you tell us what was going on there?
Well, I thought, in the first half, you look back at it, I think James had 7 carries roughly. So getting him into a rhythm, staying in a two-dimensional offense against a good pass rushing defense, we knew that was going to be important. We were off schedule quite a bit, and that can't happen against a defense like that. Second half, I thought we found a rhythm in that first drive in particular, and but then after that, again we were shooting ourselves in the foot there. So we got to be better.
Coach, to that point, I think 3 possessions, you get the ball with a chance to tie the game, and you just 2 of those went 3 and out. You didn't move the ball hardly at all. I mean, how surprising was it even for you? Because we're used to seeing this offense go up and down the field, and it just wasn't happening.
No, it wasn't, and we got to figure it out. We got to dive deep into what we're doing, how we're doing it, making sure we got the right people in the right positions, and then the execution at the end of the day. So, but we got to start from ground zero and work our way back up.
When the defense puts you, to Sale's point, they played better in the second half, but you give up 335 yards in the first half. You're almost putting them in a position where they got to play a perfect game in the second half. How do you avoid those slow starts defensively in the first half in particular?
Yeah, it comes down to run defense, run fundamentals. They had some long runs. We had 8-man front called, defensive, fronts, defensive schemes called to stop the run. And when they pop a run, when somebody's out of their gap, we got to be able to make a tackle, put a defensive net on it, a secondary net. We call it a DB net. And then secondly, we shouldn't be out of our gaps to begin with, and we got to play better run defense, because that opens up then the pass. When you commit to the run, here comes the pass, right? So just overall a better start, and but it's never one position. And I thought the guys did a better job in the second half. I think they had 335 in the first half. To your point, 443 total, so about 110 yards total in the second half, and we knew it was their run and 5 at halftime, and thought we did a better job handling 5 in the second half. So we made some good adjustments, but at the end of the day, not enough.
Hey, Sean, you had the shot play to open up the game on offense, but then the downfield passing seemed to really struggle. Have you been able to pinpoint why the downfield passing attack 20+ has just been going this year?
No, again, we're on the bye now. We've got to look at it. We've got to spend a lot of time looking at this thing and figuring out what's going on and fixing it.
Sean, part of the, obviously he was under pressure a lot tonight. They blitzed you like crazy. But it just seems like part of the problem, too, is there's just not guys getting open for him. And he's holding the ball, he's getting pressured, he's running around, and there's nowhere to go with it. Is that an issue you've got to really consider here?
Well, again, like I said, you have to evaluate everything to make sure that, we're looking in the right spots in terms of, the coverages we're getting and in the quarterback's progression overall. I could feel what you were saying in terms of it was too hard tonight on our quarterback, and it doesn't need to be that hard all the time where he's having to run out of the pocket. Their pressure, I thought at times we picked up the pressure, and then at other times the pocket was getting affected early. So the Russian coverages, we talk a lot about that, and it was disrupting our offense too early in the down.
Hey, Sean, I'm sorry if you've been asked this before, but what happened to Daquan Jones before the game?
Yeah, he popped his calf in pregame warm-ups.
Got a while.
I don't know. I have not caught up with Nate. All I heard, Nate approached me, and we were going through team warm-up there at that point, and said that DQ was out because he popped his calf.
Coach, I know Coach James Cook isn't the primary third down back, but in certain situations when he's in rhythm, on third down, why take him out when he's much more of a threat for you in that situation?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. We'll look at that as well over the bye here.
You weren't happy with the reverse call anymore. 2 weeks in a row, and it ends up in a fumble.
We can be better.
Any other health reports?
I have not heard from our trainer yet. There's a number of guys, as you know, that came out of the game at some point. Some went back in, some weren't able to return.
John, the first half penalties in particular, I think it was 5, but the nature of them, the offside, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're beating yourself, just lining up on sides, right? Lining up on sides. So we police it during practice, and then it turns up in the game, right? So we have to take responsibility for that and making sure we're not beating ourselves. I mean, that's step number 1. Let's get lined up on sides. We made, I think, 2 big plays, and both of them got called back because we didn't line up on sides.
In terms of injuries and to your point, figuring stuff out, how critical is the bye week this week?
Well, starting with injuries, we've got a number of guys that are banged up in there or came out of the game, and so that'll be important for us, hopefully getting some of those guys back. We'll see. There's no guarantee on that, number 1. Like I said, I appreciate the way the guys battled to the end. At the end of the day, we've got to go back now, in addition to getting guys healthier, and we'll see how that goes, but figure out things on offense, defense, and special teams. We've got to start over and start from ground zero and figure this thing out and work our tails off to do it.
Jim, do you guys need to think about doing something at the trade deadline to bolster yourselves?
Yeah, that's a question for Brad. I'm not getting into that.
To your knowledge, is Josh playing healthy? Is he dealing with anything?
Yeah, I have not heard. I know there's some of the noise, I guess, after the game, during the game, but I did not hear anything from our trainer during the game on Josh.
Your guys on defense have talked time and again about starting fast. What needs to happen for that to be the case?
Play in your gap. Play in your gap.
Tackling is something that you brought up. You guys in the locker room brought up needing to be better. How do you get better at that when you're a month and a half into the season at this point?
Keep working it. Keep working it, making sure we're executing the right technique. There's techniques that are involved in that. At the end of the day, run through a man, right? It's not easy. That's a good back. It's a really good back. But at the end of the day, we've got to be better tackling as well.
Coach, care to talk about how well Dion Walker has been playing for you and what's to learn from this defeat?
Well, I mean, all of us, there's some good, as a rookie, he's doing some good things, but at the end of the day, there's some things tonight that I think he learned probably a hard lesson on. So we've got to look at it, and I've told you guys before, playing good defense starts up front, whether it's run defense or pass defense, the ability to rush the passer, right? So it's the run defense starts up front. If we're a one-gap attack defense, you've got to be in your gap. And then are we fitting behind you the right way, right? And are we getting off blocks, using our hands to shed? And are we hitting the right angles on the way to the tackle? So it's fundamentals, and we're working on it. I can promise you that. We're going to continue to work on it because it's got to improve. But that's where it starts, and that's where playing good defense starts as well.
Last one.
Jordan Poyer's the type of competitor that you can tell talking to him that this meant a lot to him getting back on the field. Is he the type of guy that could press people for some playing time at this point?
Well, you guys are out there at practice. You watch how he's been practicing from day one. Guy's a winner. He's tough. He knows how to play the game. All right, thank you.
This week's game is presented by Delta. From takeoff to touchdown, the official airline of the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott talking about the momentum that the team couldn't take advantage of. Josh Allen also said, I have to do a better job of taking advantage of what Buffalo's defense is giving me. In the second quarter, they forced a turnover on downs. Buffalo's offense punts. Fourth quarter, a blocked field goal. The offense punts again. What's the answer for Buffalo?
They were 2 of 9 on third down for the game. They could not stay on the field offensively. That was the crusher. And they did it to themselves as much as the end around, another end around fumble or a botched play that got blown up in the backfield. The fourth down play where Josh had pressure right away, had to scramble out, was way deep, tried to lateral the ball left, and Ty Johnson wasn't ready for it or wasn't looking for it, couldn't help him. You got all that stuff. Josh Palmer being out of the game, Dalton Kincaid being out of the game, and then Khalil Shakir being taken away by the Falcons. Now you've got problems, and that's when Shavers and Keon Coleman can't be a big enough help in the passing game. Josh seems like, I'm sure Josh was out there dropping back thinking, I'm all by myself here. So that was a problem. And then James Cook and the running game did some really good things in the second half, and once it got to a point deep in the third quarter or in the fourth quarter when they had to move the ball and move it fast, they had to drop back and throw it, and the running game was taken out by the time and possession of the game, I believe. So all of that conspired, and the defense, allowing the Falcons to win the time of possession by a couple of minutes, 4 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. All that conspired to make the Bills look really, really offensively poor this game, and their defense took too long to get it going in the second half.
Atlanta outgains Buffalo 443 total yards to 291. Where does Buffalo go from here?
Well, they'll start with getting healthy and getting their guys back, trying to get Kincaid back on the field, trying to get Palmer back on the field, get Ogunjobi and Hoyt back on the field, try and get the guys that are out of the lineup a little closer to being healthy, Daquan Jones back on the field, trying to get Terrell Bernard healthy and on the field, Milano healthy and on the field. All of that will help, and you'll have reason to expect a better performance both in tackling and schematically. You won't see guys, they won't be dropping coverages and leaving Bijan Robinson uncovered on a wheel route up the sideline as a running back right out of the backfield. They did that in this game. That you would think would help. Getting the top guys on the field, or at least a few of them back on the field, will help. But they also have to execute better. That end around is a perfect example. The play to Bijan Robinson, who went up the sideline, was all by himself. He almost backpedaled and caught the ball. That would help. Lining up on side, like Sean McDermott said, would really help. So they're not executing at a high enough level to win football games right now.
Sean McDermott said, we have to be better with our fundamentals. We can't keep shooting ourselves in our foot. 8 penalties, 2 interceptions. They lose the turnover battle for the second straight game, something that is uncharacteristic by Buffalo to do, who's won the turnover battle so many games in a row. The Bills have a bye week coming up, a chance to reset, a chance to get healthy, and hopefully come back firing on all cylinders for a Week 8 game against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and that'll, another road game. We'll see. I mean, they'll get a chance to reset and come together and refresh, and that'll help. And I would expect, although we would expect them to have played better on this game as well, this Monday night game, after taking it on the chin last week from the Patriots. And for the first time in a long, long time, the Bills are not sitting atop the division. The Patriots are.
The Bills now 4-2 on the season after losing on Monday Night Football to the Atlanta Falcons. 24-14 is the final. We want to thank you for tuning into Bills Postgame Live. For Steve Tasker, I'm Maddy Glab. We'll see you next time.